Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you are new, I'm Jamie, and this will be a reading for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Keep in mind that the reading can't resonate for everyone. If it doesn't, just discard it. Remember that there is no gender. If I pull a king or a queen, I could be talking about anyone. It's all about the personality I'll describe. All the information for private personals is in the description below. If you'd like to become a member, all that information is either in the membership tab or you can hit the join button below. So we're just going to take whatever comes out here and then we'll talk about it. We'll clarify with the tarot, grab some advice in the end. I just need one. Okay, I insist I have two. So we have season of rest. I observe my body's rhythms and rest when it's time. I sleep in peace and give myself permission to rest. I welcome the winter season of rest. We have always partying. Advocacy. I can't speak today. Anxiety. Woods, be like the woods, calm, soothing, mysterious, and full of life. We have what do you need to release with? You're very close to achieving your goal. So I feel like a lot of you are taking some good advice here on, like what's going on with your body. I don't know if you've been like going to somebody who is like a friend who also has anxiety. If you have like a mental health professional in your life, something like that. I feel like they're correlating your lifestyle because it may not be like you're always partying, but maybe your lifestyle itself is part of the problem with your anxiety here. So I feel like, I don't know, it feels like the advice that somebody is giving you here is actually helping. You're kind of like, I think, making sure that you get the correct amount of sleep, that you do these like sort of self-soothing exercises and like work hard to cope with some type of anxiety. At the same time, I feel like, it's deeper than that. You're really trying to like release whatever the root cause of the anxiety is, right? So I feel like there's a lot of like, trying to meditate or like at least just sit in like, silence, really giving yourself that time to like relax and rest. I don't even know if I did shuffle these or not, but I'm going to again. If I did, sorry. Tell me about season of rest for Cancer. The World. We have Death, the King of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Cups, the Ten of Wands, Judgment. At the bottom of the deck, the Seven of Swords. So yeah, it's about like the way that you've been coping with things or handling things, you know, it's I think one is really understanding oneself, right? So like being able to try to put something behind you really required you to first look at it. Like the way that it has changed you via behavioral pattern or how overly protective of yourself you've become. And all of these sort of like maladaptive behaviors and weird thinking patterns, would say disordered thinking, that come with this anxiety itself. And what really is the cause of anxiety? You know, I've had a friend before talk to me about panic attacks, and you know, it's like I take this medication and it's not helping. But she also was a full-blown alcoholic. And so like how is it that you actually plan to get rid of anxiety when that's not the root of the anxiety, you know what I mean? And sometimes it's as simple as diet and exercise. And for other people, this anxiety surrounds trauma. So it's all of these combinations: diet, exercise, the correct amount of rest, and therapy, just to become a whole person again. But somebody's really done it here. Like they're really working towards it. And I feel like something is changing here and you're feeling a lot more stable. You know, I think are really learning how to like work with the energy, how to stay grounded. You're very on earth where you belong here. But it took a lot. With the World card and death, it's like changing everything you've ever known and everything you've ever been. And I feel like it's been a kind of long, steady journey here. Yeah, I feel like it's kind of like also understanding how, you know, your emotional response to stress actually has like been a huge problem. And I think in a lot of aspects of your life, relationships, work, I think it's funny too, because when you say to like, you know, I'm in America, and I feel like probably everywhere in the world, everybody has to frickin' work and life is stressful, but I feel like maybe some places it's more stressful. But here, it's like the amount of stress that a person is willing to take on and just kind of consider as normal is insane. Like, you know, most of the people that I know on a regular day basis, they work 40 to 60 hours a week. And then they have to go home and, you know, care for children. And in the midst of all of this, you know, they have like doctor's appointments and soccer games and like friends and family and holidays and, you know, vacations and like just, I don't even, literally in America, it's very custom to just like kill yourself all year and then take 2 weeks vacation. During those 2 weeks vacation, most people though are planning an entire family trip. So they actually aren't vacationing. They're allowing their children to. And I feel like somebody is finally at like a position in life where none of these things are like so stressful though that it's depleting, or allowing things to get that stressful. I feel like somebody is kind of recognizing that they've been doing too damn much. It's this perpetual feel that you're going to lose everything at the drop of a dime, or I don't know, I just feel maybe this is kind of like as the year is ending, everybody's kind of like thinking about like what is the biggest problem that they've had throughout the year, and it's the stress. And that's kind of the focus for next year is like, how do I make my life less stressful? How can I work for the same amount of money doing less work? How can I do this but in an easier way? How can I do this and make it as productive but in less time? Like, I feel like that's what 2025 is going to be all about. It's sort of like breaking these old patterns and thoughts around like how much you're supposed to endure just to survive, And I think in all different kinds of aspects of life, maybe some of you have found yourself in some really like wild relationships due to anxiety. It's like maybe the relationship could almost be normal if you weren't just like so anxious all of the time, always waiting for something to happen, always kind of pushing people away because if they get too close, something could happen, and all those kind of weird things that can come with this energy. So I think 2024 was a really, really rough year, like from beginning to end. But looking at, how you've played like a role in it, it's like this year I need to get my shit together. I feel like, this is really people like thinking about like solid New Year resolutions and not on some like start it and quit a month later, but like, these are realistic goals for the end of the year. It's like I need to make sure that I'm taking enough time out every day to really get the sleep that I need. And to, at least 2 or 3 times a week, really take like a long hot bath where I can just like sit there and just do nothing and really like reflect. Just simple like self-care things are so helpful with anxiety and depression, like to not slip into those really weird patterns of thinking. So what is the advice then? I really think it's like pushing past the limiting beliefs when they pop up, It's not just limiting beliefs, but like the anxious thoughts. Again, I keep getting like the air versus pentacle energy here. I feel like you need to believe that what's happening now really is like your best chapter yet. And that stability is here for you. I think that a lot of you I do feel like they're kind of limiting beliefs. It's sort of like if you start to get happy, you get anxious about that. If things start looking like they're going one way, you get anxious. You're always like waiting for the worst case scenario. And that pattern of thinking, I think, it just like has wrecked you time and time again. I think whatever you're moving into here is very abundant. It's time to actually relax, release this tension and not, stress. I feel like that it's a imperative, I think, this year to not stress the way that you did the last year. Like, I think that if you really think about it, everything that you stressed really hard this year had a weird way of working out anyway. It's just in between it was all the stressing of it. So when we say like it was a really tough year, it was obsessing over, stressing over shit that really was just supposed to exit our lives. Or things that we were choosing to remain a part of that weren't serving us. It wasn't like, the universe actually working against us. It was us working against ourselves here in some kind of way. And also, like, understanding that whatever lifestyle you've been living really does need to change, and it doesn't even have to do any with partying. Like, say, again, like, I was raised in a struggle, and so I believe that I'm supposed to work 50 or 60 hours a week just to pay the rent and the bills, like changing that mindset, because it actually is killing somebody, like it will, like, and if you died tomorrow from, a heart attack from stress, like, your job would just replace you. They don't care. I mean, I wouldn't say they don't care. They'd be like, hey, I'm sorry, and send flowers to your funeral, but, like, your job still needs to be done. So I think that somebody needs to kind of, like, live by that this year. If you're going to really stress something, it can only be if it's really beneficial to you. So I really feel like it's going to be 2 completely flip-flopped years, from, like, the most stressful year of your life to the least stressful year of your life. Just like that. I feel like the last step to all of this is releasing, like, these coping mechanisms, So maybe some of you, at the end of the week, you handle it with some wine, or maybe you're more like me. You want to smoke a joint so you don't kill anybody. Something like that. It's like, but the reality is, when I smoke a joint, I'm increasing my cortisol levels, right? So for the following week, I'm going to be more anxious. And guess what that does? It turns into this vicious cycle, right? So I have to be really careful about how much I am smoking, right? Same thing. I mean, really, whatever it is that you do. Maybe somebody likes to eat, like when they're stressed out, and you can see where that really has taken a toll on it. And then in the end, it's like, now you're stressed out because you're eating, but you're stress eating. And, like, it's just this vicious cycle. So I feel like, the month of December is going to be, like, kind of reflecting over the year at how much stress there has been, and really, like, deciding that's just a place you don't ever want to be again. I really do. I feel like this is, like, a period of peace, and, just a pure abundance coming in randomly. So it's letting go of this stress level, this tension, like things won't work out, because something is definitely working out here. The main thing here is, the correct coping. And I think you figured that out now. Okay, bye.